Hi everybody, welcome back to another Song of the Week video from us at St Aldates. It's wonderful to be here with you sharing again. Do keep coming back here every Tuesday morning to hear the thoughts of one of the worship team talking about a song that they've chosen. And please make sure you follow our Spotify playlist, Rise, Reset and Rest, which you'll find at St Aldates Worship on Spotify. All the songs that we're going to chat about here on Tuesdays are going to be added to at least one of those playlists, and you can find all of them in the links in the description. So last week, Finn introduced us to a Josh Gorton track, This Side of Heaven. And this week, as we're about to enter Lent and we're approaching Easter, I just thought it'd be great to talk about a song that really has Good Friday at the centre of it. So it's a song called For the Joy Set Before Him, released in 2019 by Latifah Makuyi, who's a South African-born artist, but she's now based in Sheffield. And it's a wonderful song. It's got incredible content and perhaps even more incredible harmonies. So if you like harmonies, this is definitely for you. The title of the song is quoting Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, which reads, For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And this verse, I think, really encapsulates the two themes at the heart of this song. The intense pain that Jesus went through, he endured on that cross, and then the glory and the power of such an act of sacrifice by the one who sits at the right hand of the throne of God. And what really struck me about the lyrics, in particular in the first verse of this song, is just the sheer humanity of Jesus that we're presented with. He's described as a broken man on the cross, as a broken world cries for blood. He cries out for his Father's hand. We really cannot escape the very human suffering that Jesus went through on our behalf as he was crucified. The song itself is, in its simplest form, really a story of Good Friday, and it's told in part from the perspective of an onlooker. And it's through this shift in perspective that we really understand the pain and desperation of those who actually believed Jesus to be the Messiah at the time. One of the choruses reads, I can't but look away as tears roll down his face. I thought all hope was lost, my Saviour on that cross. It's perhaps hard for us to imagine how we might have felt in that moment had we been there 2,000 years ago, but I really do think these words help us begin to form some sort of picture, thought or emotion in our minds as to just how desperate and hopeless that day would have felt. Now we call this day Good Friday, but for those witnessing Jesus' death who believed he was the Messiah, it really couldn't have been further from that characterization. And in fact, the song even includes the line, darker days there were none, and I think that sums it up perfectly. Now, as I was preparing some thoughts for this video, I thought I might actually read through each of the four gospel accounts of Jesus' death, which we find in Matthew 27, Mark 15, Luke 23 and John 19. And I would actually really encourage you to do the same after you listen to this song, because there are so many things that I could mention here that just struck me in a bit of a different way, really. I could talk about the incredible details that John gives about Jesus fulfilling, in particular, Old Testament prophecies, or perhaps the fact that loads of the writers reference the friends and the family of Jesus who stay behind after he has died, presumably just in shock and desperation just to watch the scene unfold. But actually there was one thing in particular I really wanted to highlight, which was just the awesome power of the cross. And for me, I think Matthew sums that up best. So Matthew 27, verses 50 to 54, read as follows. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks split. The tombs broke open and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs, and after Jesus' resurrection they went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, Surely he was the Son of God. It is the cross that tore the curtain in two. It's the cross that defeated death and raised people to life. It's the cross that literally shook the earth. Latifah's song, I think, encapsulates these verses beautifully as she writes, "The soldiers stood in awe. Surely a righteous man he was. Jesus, Jesus, Son of God." And for me, I think this should always be our reaction when we read these accounts and when we think about the cross. We should be awestruck at the majesty and glory of the Son and of the power of what he did on the cross. The song culminates in a presentation of the beauty of the cross, the wonderful combination of its pain and its power, the demonstration of Jesus' true nature, fully human and fully God, the meeting of heaven and earth. And what better way can we enter into a season of Lent than by coming back to the cross and recognising all that Jesus has done for us?